What happens when a star does not follow the rules? When she speaks her mind, lives on her own terms, and does not care what others think. Suzanne Pleshette did just that. She did not pretend. She did not hide. And once she opened up, people saw a side of her they never expected. What did she show? Why will it make you want to be alone with your thoughts afterward? Keep watching, this story might surprise you. Suzanne Pleshette was not like other actresses in Hollywood. She had a voice that was low and strong and a stare that said, "Do not mess with me." Most people first saw her in old black and white movies or on the Bob Newhart Show, where she played Emily, the smart and funny wife. But even before she was a television star, Suzanne was already making waves. She trained at acting schools in New York and worked hard, not because she wanted to be rich, but because she loved acting. She once said, "If I cannot act, I do not want to be here." That is how serious she was. Her voice was different. It was deep, almost like a whisper and a growl mixed together. That voice became her trademark. People did not just watch Suzanne, they listened. Even if you did not know who she was, once you heard her talk, you remembered her. In Hollywood, where most women tried to sound soft and sweet, Suzanne stood out. And she liked it that way. One thing people respected about Suzanne was that she did not hold back. If she did not like something, she said so. If she thought something was fake, she called it out. In interviews, she did not tell funny stories to get laughs. She told the truth. And sometimes that truth was raw. She talked about love, loss, fear, and the hard parts of being famous. She was not afraid to be real. She once said, "I am not a star. I am a working actress. That is all I ever wanted to be." People saw her on screen and thought they knew her. But Suzanne kept a lot to herself. She had private pain. She lost the love of her life, actor Tom Poston, only a year after they got married, though they had known each other for decades. They were friends first. Then, much later in life, they became more. It was like something from a movie. But just as they found happiness, he passed away. Suzanne said very little about it, but when she did, her words were full of sadness and deep love. It made people stop and think about how fast life moves, about how we sometimes miss chances, and about how love does not always come when we expect it. Now let us talk about that moment. No, Suzanne did not show it all the way gossip magazines like to say. It was not about clothes or shocking photos. She showed herself, her truth, her heart, and she did it without filters. In one rare interview, she talked about growing older in Hollywood. She said, "They do not write roles for women like me anymore." But she did not say it with anger. She said it with honesty. She was not afraid of age. She was not afraid of fading fame. She accepted herself. She showed the world who she really was. No makeup, no lights, no script. Just Suzanne. Strong. Funny. Honest. That is when people really saw her. Not as a character on television, but as a woman who had lived, loved, hurt, and kept going. After watching her speak, many people said they needed time to think. They wanted to sit quietly, to be alone. Not because they were sad, but because Suzanne reminded them of something important. You do not need to pretend. You do not need to be loud to be heard. You do not need to be young to matter. She made people look at their own lives. To ask, am I being honest? Am I living the way I want? Or am I just trying to fit in? That is what made Suzanne Pleshette different. She did not try to shock people. She did not need to. She just was. And that was more powerful than anything else. So what did Suzanne Pleshette really show? She showed that being true to yourself is more powerful than fame. That speaking your truth is more lasting than beauty. And that life, real life, is not always perfect, but it is worth sharing anyway. Maybe that is why people still remember her. Not just as an actress, but as someone who showed it all. In the quietest, strongest way. If this story made you feel something, take a moment for yourself. Be still. Be real. Be like Suzanne. Thank you for watching. If you would like more stories like this, you know what to do.